I flashed it. I guess I'm just seeing you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to just quickly do like a little intro to this video and explain what is going on, because there is no explanation during the video, and I will tell you why. Oh, first of all, if you haven't already watched the previous video with the brand new holds, the holds collaboration they did with the elevation climbing, please go watch that, because that was done by a professional videographer. Basically, in a couple of weeks, well, next weekend, there's a comp called Level Up here in Perth at the Boulder Hub, and unfortunately I'm going to be away for it because I'm going to be competing in Brisbane and Boulder Fest instead, but I'm trying to use this unique format of this comp to just get back into that comp mindset. It's a strange format, it's really interesting. So you have to qualify you have to qualify for the event. So the main event is 6th and 7th, but you have to, novice, intermediate and opens have to go in 2 weeks before the event and climb 8 boulders, and only the top 20 will actually go through to the main event. So yeah, there was like I think 40 novice competitors, and only 20 of them will be taken through. When they go through to their main event, they're doing a full World Cup format, a qualification, and then 12 will go through the semis, 6 through the finals. So they're just trying to give that comp experience to the best 20 novice, intermediate and open climbers of WA in the lead up to state titles. So unfortunately, while I'm not here for the main event, I am here for the qualifying round. So I can do the qualifying round and just not accept my position in the event. This round that you're going to see now, I didn't plan to really film it for the purpose of YouTube. I'm filming it to observe my own climbing. I am my own coach. I don't have a coach, so I like to just watch my own climbing and see what I do right and what I do wrong in terms of a competition setting. So I was just minding my own business. I was going full comp mode, like not talking to anyone else for this one, just setting up my tripod. I saw a few other people on boulders and picked up the camera and filmed them in a nice sense. So if I was like, if you're going to get in front of my camera, aka Tom and Tennille, then I will film you. This is actually the intermediate women's round and the intermediate men's round. Now the intermediate women's is Tennille's category, and I used that on the day to warm up for my round, which would be the intermediate men's, because intermediate men's is generally the same level as open women's. The intermediate category did these the day before on the Saturday in their comp format. Now in the women's, one boulder was not topped. The top scoring female got 7 tops. The men also had 7 tops in quite a few attempts. So there was an untopped boulder in the men's and an untopped boulder in the females. So this is me doing the female, and then the next video will be me doing the men. So I might do like a little voiceover of some of these and explain a couple of things as we go. Yeah, all right, let's kick it off. Okay, so we basically had no idea what order the boulders were in terms of difficulty, so I've gone for this one first and immediately kind of like tried to go the wrong way, I think. This was my warm-up and it did not feel like a warm-up, so I am wrestling a little bit here, and then I realised that you kind of have to go left before you need to go right. So yeah, not the most ideal warm-up. It certainly was not the easiest boulder for the intermediate women's, but yeah, a flash is a flash. And here is Tennille trying the same boulder. As you can see, it's probably not as easy as it may have appeared. Yeah, that hold that she's gone to is really quite bad, so it's Tom absolutely mincing these holds. So this is the second one I chose because it didn't look too bad, and yeah, this was pretty easy, just except for the last move. That hold there is just like a crappy plate, but your feet are quite good, so if you can just stand up on them, then it's not so bad. So this is the easiest one for the women. This is the first one I should have done. They're not in order, even though it says F1, they're not in order, because M1 was the hardest one for the men. But yeah, just like a balancy slab. So Alright, a bit of a belly number on the Morpho holds. So these holds aren't amazing, but there's like a little undercling on that one just before the zone. This one was probably in like the middle range of their harder ones. A little bit tricky. I think it apparently was, a lot of people didn't top this one, and Neil had a bit of a bingle on it as well. So yeah, definitely not a walk in the park. So apparently this was the second hardest one, so the only one girl topped these out of, I don't know, there was like 40 girls or something. Only one girl topped the topped girl, but I thought it was pretty easy. There is quite a bit, like a gap between intermediate and open women's that I compete in, but the main difference I see when I was watching people trying to climb this is they cannot trust their feet on the volume. So if you just went for the chip, it's pretty hard to pull your body weight up onto those shields because they're not very good. But if you can just trust your feet and just walk them up the volume, it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, a lot of people don't really trust their feet in the intermediate category.
Oh, God, my buddy. Oh, no, this is going to be tough.
I love that self-talk, self-belief. Yes, you can. You can be an intermediate female. Yeah!
Yes!
You're in.
Mentally strong.
Alright, so I guess this was like the dynamic one for the intermediate female, and lots of fun, and of course a little bit bunchy probably if you're a bit taller. I was trying to not fall off anything, so I climbed it a bit more tentatively than probably I would if it wasn't a comp boulder, because afterwards we went back and we were all doing it as a limited dynos and it's actually easier. But yeah, I've gone for like a safe method here. Okay, so apparently this one was really tricky for the women in terms of the starting position was a bit sketchy, and then the move to the zone was a bit sketchy, and then the final move was a bit sketchy. Alright, and so we to the final boulder of the intermediate women. This is the untopped boulder, the impossible boulder. So I did take my time, and yet still had a foot slip. Pretty hard starting position. I was a little bit annoyed myself to drop this. I was trying to flash everything, but I gave it a really good brush and calmed myself down. A lot of the open men came to try it as well that were here on this day, like kind of practicing, and they all fell off it as well, so that made me feel a bit better. And yeah, it was quite spicy, this one, but yeah, here we go. So basically you had to get the foot match on the left side of the volume. You couldn't just drop your foot down. That ball that I'm holding to is just horrible, and then the zone is pretty horrible crimp, and then you stand up into like a really bad slot, which you can't really get your finger in. You can kind of just crimp the outside. And then the next one is also a slot which you can't really get your fingers in. I can't get my fat fingers in. Yeah, so I gave up filming Tom here. I was filming because I was now having a break. I'd done all the women's and I was going to go into the men's. So I started filming Tom, but he took forever on here. So I gave up on him. He did eventually top it and made it look real easy, and that is on his Instagram if you want to check it out, but he didn't do it in the 30 minutes that I was kind of standing there filming. Harder than any of the men's. Nice, Tom. I know, you were floating, so I was like, oh, he's gonna go anyway.
No, I was focused on just squeezing.
Oh, wait, did you go in or out?
I'm moving back.
He went out.
You're my competitor, man. So like hit it.
But go hit the first and then go to the zone with the second hand.
Oh, I'm not going to that.
Oh no! 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Almost died on the first swing.
Oh.
So we're using the zone?
Hands into eliminates.
Yeah.
Not allowed to pause, not allowed to pause.
You have to do it in the swing. Okay. It's too easy while swinging back.
Cardio's
I'll maybe run and do push-ups for half an hour.
I'm older than you.
The old stress tactics.
Yes.
Been there.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. Do comment, like and subscribe. Check out the last video. Please come back to watch the intermediate men's, and also check out my app if you haven't already checked out my app.